The vote, not the verdict. Every moment you are voting with your attention, not for what you want, but for what already is, in some parallel, unseen stream. You have felt the weight of choices that didn't feel like choices at all, a path already set. This isn't fate in the traditional sense, but a more insidious mechanism. Your past votes, taken without conscious awareness, cast shadows over your present. You are living the tally of forgotten moments, unexamined assumptions. It feels like an external force, but it begins within. Consider the times you moved towards a desire, only to find yourself deflected. It wasn't resistance from the world, but a deeper alignment with a choice already made, a vote already cast. You were observing a reality you didn't consciously pick. This continuous voting, this silent ledger of attention, forms the bedrock of your perceived world. It explains the loops, the repetitions, the feeling of being stuck in a narrative someone else wrote. Your observation creates the verdict, but the vote happened long ago. This profound mechanism keeps an older script alive, leading us directly into residual identity, the hidden script. Residual identity, the hidden script. You carry an unseen script, a blueprint of your perceived self. This isn't just your past, but a current operating program dictating your movements, your reactions, your very sense of what's possible. It's what you believe you are, even if those beliefs are buried deep. This script was written in moments of vulnerability, solidified by repetition, and reinforced by every reflection you mistakenly believed was absolute. It dictates who you are in a crisis, who you are in joy, and who you are when no one is watching. It's the ghost in the machine, operating silently. When you attempt change, this residual identity rises. It fights for its own survival, using comfort, fear, or a sense of authenticity to maintain its hold. It tells you, this is who you are. But it's just a story, a very old one. Your deepest failures, those patterns that refuse to break, are simply this script playing out. You are not failing. The script is succeeding in keeping you contained. The true struggle is identifying this invisible director, which means understanding that your observer is pointed at the wrong feed. Your observer is pointed at the wrong feed. Imagine your consciousness as a projector casting light onto a screen, but you've been unintentionally pointing it at old footage, a feed constantly replaying past failures, past limitations, past definitions of yourself. This isn't accidental, but a learned behavior. And before we dive deeper, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. These revelations aren't random, and if this video found you, it was meant to. Now let's begin. Every thought, every emotion, every memory you revisit is a choice of where to point that projector. For too long, you've been instructed to observe what is, rather than what could be. You've been trained to validate existing reality, rather than to render a new one. This misdirection isn't harmless. It traps your perception, looping you through familiar landscapes, even when you desperately seek new horizons. You're trying to walk forward while looking in the rearview mirror. The scenery never changes. The frustration you feel, the sense of being unable to break free, stems from this fundamental misdirection. You are actively powering the very reality you wish to escape, simply by observing its persistent existence. This constant validation generates a profound resistance to change, known as identity inertia and the collapse of choice. Identity inertia and the collapse of choice. Your established identity has a built-in inertia. It resists any deviation, much like a physical object resists a change in its state of motion. This isn't laziness or weakness, but a fundamental property of your self-organizing perception. When faced with a new possibility, your identity's inertia kicks in. It creates reasons to stay the same, manifesting as doubt, fear, or a sudden resurgence of old habits. These aren't external obstacles, but internal defenses of the existing self. This inertia restricts your perceived choices. What feels like a vast array of possibilities shrinks into a few familiar paths. You believe you are choosing, but often you are merely selecting from the limited options presented by your dominant identity. The true choice, the one that collapses the old, remains hidden. This isn't a failure of will, but a symptom of a powerful, unseen force holding you in place. The deeper you understand this inertia, the more you see how your identity subtly removes the possibility of true deviation. This process relies heavily on how you interpret your past, using memory as a rendering device. Memory as a rendering device. You believe memory is a record, a dusty archive of what happened, but this is a profound misunderstanding. Your memory is a living, active rendering device, constantly shaping your present and future. It doesn't merely recall, it recreates. Each time you access a memory, you are not simply retrieving it. You are reobserving it, and in that act of observation, you are subtly changing its texture, its meaning, and its impact on your current reality. This constant re-rendering solidifies the facts of your existence. This device can lock you into old loops. By perpetually replaying struggles, regrets, or perceived limitations, you are instructing your reality to continue manifesting similar experiences. You are using your own past to blueprint your future. The power lies not in erasing memory, but in understanding its active role. It's a lens through which you frame your current narrative, a tool for creation, not just recollection. This active, often subconscious rendering of the past leads directly into the self-sustaining cycle of the false evidence loop. The false evidence loop. Have you ever felt trapped in a recurring dynamic where every outcome seems to validate your deepest fears? This is the false evidence loop in action. Your subconscious, guided by the residual identity, actively seeks and amplifies evidence to confirm its existing beliefs. If your script says you are unworthy, your perception will filter conversations, opportunities, and even fleeting glances to confirm that unworthiness. It's not that the evidence isn't there, it's that your observer is primed to only see that specific kind of evidence. This loop strengthens itself with every confirmation. Each proof reinforces the observer's bias, making it even harder to perceive anything outside the established narrative. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, powered by your own unwitting attention. You are surrounded by infinite data, but your false evidence loop acts as a powerful filter, discarding anything that doesn't fit the existing narrative. Breaking this cycle requires a deliberate disruption of your internal operating system, a process we call identity fasting, the quantum disruption. Identity fasting, the quantum disruption. To break free, you must intentionally starve the false evidence loop. This means consciously withholding attention from the old, familiar narratives and self-definitions. It's not about fighting your identity, but about letting it go hungry. Identity fasting is a strategic withdrawal of your observational energy from all that reinforces the old script. For a period, you intentionally choose not to identify with your past failures, your ingrained habits, or even your usual emotional responses. You become a neutral observer of your own being. This creates a vacuum, a momentary void where the old identity's grip loosens. In this space, new possibilities can begin to emerge without immediate judgment or assimilation into the old framework. It disrupts the automatic rendering. It feels uncomfortable, like shedding a familiar skin. But this discomfort is the sign you are successfully interrupting the loop, creating a potent moment for something new to coalesce. This disruption often manifests as strange phenomena, leading to timeline bleed-through and symbolic interference. Timeline bleed-through and symbolic interference. When you disrupt your core identity, the boundaries between what you perceive as fixed reality begin to blur. Experiences, memories, or even physical objects from other, potential timelines or realities can begin to briefly show through. You might experience vivid synchronistic events, a sudden knowing, or a sense of déjà vu so strong it feels like a memory from a future you haven't lived yet. These are not coincidences, they are cracks in the default reality, moments of bleed-through. These symbolic interferences are messages from the quantum field itself, indicating that your old anchors are shifting. A number sequence appearing everywhere, a specific phrase heard repeatedly, an object inexplicably appearing or disappearing. These are whispers from alternative renditions. These phenomena are not random. They are guideposts, signifying that your persistent efforts to fast your identity are working. They indicate that new pathways are opening themselves for observation. This reorientation of your perception moves us towards understanding reticular activation and invisible opportunity. Reticular activation and invisible opportunity. Your brain has a filter, the reticular activating system, RAS, which tunes your perception to what you deem important. When your identity shifts, this filter recalibrates. What was invisible before suddenly becomes clear. Opportunities that were always present, but obscured by your old script, now pop into focus. You might notice job postings you previously scrolled past, people you once dismissed, or solutions to problems you thought insurmountable. The world hasn't changed, your lens has. This isn't about new things appearing, but about your ability to perceive what was always there. The universe isn't suddenly gifting you, it's revealing what your old self was blind to. It's like turning on the lights in a room you thought was empty. This activated perception is a direct result of altering your internal self-definition. The more you release the old identity, the more your RAS attunes to possibilities aligning with the true self emerging. However, even with this new clarity, you may still feel the pull of the past in what we call reality lag, the phantom echo. Reality lag, the phantom echo. Even as you begin to stabilize a new perception, you will experience reality lag. This is the phenomenon where your external world continues to reflect elements of your old identity, even as you feel yourself internally solidified in the new. You might have a moment of profound clarity, a true shift in your self-perception, only to find old patterns or reactions from others still lingering. It's like hearing an echo after the sound has faded. This is the universe catching up. Understand that this lag is merely a residual effect, a final rendering of the old observational data. It is not an indication of failure, but a test of your resolve to maintain your new frequency. Do not re-engage with the echo. Your consistent observation of the new self, despite the phantom echoes, is what collapses the old reality entirely. This requires unwavering commitment to your internal shift. It's about acting from the already rendered future. Acting from the already rendered future. This is the ultimate technique of the conscious observer. You must operate as if your desired reality, the future you know is already rendered, is happening now. Not pretending, but truly embodying it. Every decision, every reaction, every thought, every feeling must align with the version of you who already has what you desire. You are no longer waiting for circumstances to change so you can feel a certain way. You are cultivating that feeling now. This isn't wishful thinking, it's a quantum act. By inhabiting the future self in the present, you are sending a clear signal to the field, collapsing the possibilities into your preferred outcome. You become the magnet rather than chasing the iron filings. This shifts your entire energetic signature. You stop asking how and start acting as if. But this profound power carries a critical insight about the nature of perception itself, leading to the observer trap, who's watching you. The observer trap, who's watching you? For too long, you've believed you are simply the observer, passively watching reality unfold. But this is the deepest trap. You are not only the observer. You are also constantly observed by the very reality you perceive. Your reality is a mirror, not just reflecting your internal state, but actively influencing and shaping it based on what it sees in you. When you feel judged by the world, it's often a reflection of your own internal self-judgment, echoed back. The trap is believing the reflection is you, rather than a dynamic interplay. As you observe, you are simultaneously being observed and rendered by the field. This creates a self-sustaining feedback loop, reinforcing whatever identity you present. Understanding this dual role is critical. You are not merely projecting onto a blank screen, you are entangled in a dance of mutual creation. The world is watching you decide who you are. This very understanding this unraveling of perception means that this video is a collapse event. This video is a collapse event. If you have reached this point, you have already initiated a collapse. The information shared here is not merely theoretical. It is a catalyst designed to disrupt your existing mental models and pierce through the old rendering. The insights you've gained, the recognition of these hidden mechanisms within yourself, act as a powerful vibration, destabilizing the anchors of your previous identity. You can no longer unsee what you've seen, unknow what you've been shown. This isn't just a video, it's an intervention. Your observer has been recalibrated, your filters exposed. The old ways of operating, the old loops, are now visible for what they truly are: constructs. The choice to perpetuate them now belongs to you entirely. The collapse has begun. What emerges next is entirely up to your conscious, deliberate observation. The world awaits your next vote. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.